Hi guys, in this video we will be looking at how to factor quadratics with integer coefficients or things with integer roots. So our quadratics look like ax squared plus bx plus c, where your a, b, and c are just numbers. So as an example, let's look at it. Where if a was 4, b was 14, and c was 10. How would you factor that? First of all, in any of those quadratic where a, b, and c are positive numbers, the first things that we try to do is we find factor pairs for a. So what two numbers can you multiply together would get you a. So write all of them down in pairs. So like we did it right here. So 4 is our a. We find what's factor pairs for a. 4 times 1 gets you 4. So that 4 and 1 is a pair. And 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So 2 and 2 is another pair. So after we find the factor pairs for a, now we find factor pairs for c. So what two numbers can you multiply together would get you c? 10 times 1 equals 10, which gets you c. So 10 and 1 is a factor pair. And 5 times 2 is equal to 10, which gets you c. So 5 and 2 is another factor pair. So what's next? What's your next step? So after you have the factor pairs for a and for c, our next step is to do trial and error. So we're going to be taking one pair from our factor pairs for a and one pair from our factor pairs for c and just multiplying them. So like, let's see what I mean. So if our first pair was 4 and 1, what we're going to do is just say what's 4 times 10 and what's 1 times 1, and then add them to see if they get you b. So like we're just gonna combine them. So like every combination that we can do, and whichever one gets us b would be our answer. So as an example, let's look here. Our first pair for a was 4 and 1, so it's 4 here and 1 here. And our first pair for c was 10 and 1, so we have 10 here and 1 here. So what we're just gonna do is see if 4 times 1 plus 10 times 1 equals 14, which is b. If it does, then that would get us a factor. It does here, so 4x plus 10 and 1x plus 1 is a factor. But we do it for 4 and 1 with everything. We're going to switch it too. So like if we have 4 times 10 and 1 times 1, is that equal to 14? No, so 4x plus 1 is not a factor.